Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny Berber. I want to talk to you and I want to share some of my story with you. As I've shared my story many times, but sometimes I forget certain parts of my story and I'll remember certain relevant parts, and they'll be very relevant to stuff I'm learning now, what I'm teaching, and what I'm obviously learning in my own personal development. And one that I was thinking about today because I was teaching a student and it kind of came up in some of the things that we were doing. I've been thinking about it a lot lately and it's really exciting, is the fear of success. I've spoken about it before in other videos. I've heard other coaches or spiritual teachers or just other people speaking about it. But I find it fascinating, and I kind of felt a lot of rage before I was doing this video in a good way, a lot of passion, because I'm really tired, as you probably can see on the video, but I still wanted to make this video. I thought I've got to share this information because I'll learn something as I'm telling you anyway. And yeah, I remember for, well, most of my life growing up in my area, around my friends, there was so much fear of success that took place. There was so much bullshit, excuse my French, it's passion if I swear. There was so much bullshit. It was in so much of the conversations between us. It was in so much of the decision making, in the way we behaved, our identities. And of course I was guilty of the same myself. And I'm going to give an example that I remember, probably many examples in my childhood, but one of the things I remember was when I first took up boxing. And I went down to the gym and I was really nervous about joining the gym, actually, really nervous. One of the fears was being embarrassed in the sparring sessions, was possibly being knocked out, or yeah, being dominated by another guy. But actually, as I started to train more, I realized that was one of the fears, but there was a deeper one. And I realise it more now as I've gotten older and I've got more awareness and more clarity. And there was actually a fear of being good. There was a fear of getting to a good level, competition level. And the reason that I kind of believe that, because when I was younger, my dad actually used to hold his hands up and he used to teach me, you know, combinations like jab, jab, cross, hook, the basics of boxing. And I love boxing. I used to watch Nigel Benn, I watched Mike Tyson, Chris Eubank, Steve Collins, around that 80s sort of era. And they inspired me. And obviously I've told you about when I was in school, I got bullied a lot. And what actually saved me at the time, I'm not condoning it of course, please don't go out and do this, was my hands. Because eventually the bullying got so bad, I didn't have the social confidence to talk my way out. I was petrified. So my dad taught me to defend myself and I started to use my hands in boxing, and I started to knock a few of the bullies out. And I'll be honest with you, at the time it saved my life, because the school I grew up in, if you couldn't defend yourself, and of course there was no day game then, I didn't know about personal development at 14, 15. If you didn't defend yourself, you got beaten up and humiliated. And I've said it before, I was spat on, I was called names, vicious names. Excuse my language, I'm just referencing the things I was called. I was called a cunt, I was called ugly, I was called a nerd, I was called a geek, I was called a pussy. A pussy was a big word in school young. That was really offensive. I can laugh about it now, but that was really insulting. It really hurt when people said those words. And I was also punched like in the back, in the head, spat on, football thrown at me. So of course it got to a stage I couldn't take it no more. So where is this tying in? Back to my original point, I've gone off topic a bit. Stay with me, this passion. So yeah, going down the boxing gym, from the first moment I actually started to train with my dad's hands. My dad recognised that I had a lot of power, there's a lot of talent there. I could really punch. I think it run in my genes, in the O'Halloran gene. We were very strong fist fighters. Probably goes back to the Irish in my family, my dad's granddad, and right down the family tree. Anyway, that's another video for another story. So going into the gym, even as a young kid, I didn't fully understand how to fight, but I recognised I had talent, I had a lot of natural power. I was naturally very skinny as a kid, very wiry, but I had a massive punch. And even my trainer said it. He said to me, you hit like a light heavyweight, you're a middleweight, but you've got so much power. And even my friends used to say, I used to do the pads, and I had a lot of power. I remember I was in the gym, I was training in the gym in White City, and there was all these bodybuilders. They were all on steroids. They were Russian men. They were lifting weights. You know, I was just some skinny kid that come in the gym. And there was this heavy bag, and I'm not joking you. It's the heaviest punching bag you can work out. And if any of you are watching that are boxers or fighters, you'd know. And I just remember hitting this bag, bam, 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 and the whole gym, everyone stopped. They just couldn't believe the power that was coming out of me. And I was training at the time regularly, right? So where does this lead to the fear of success? Well, my point is, my biggest fear was being talented, because like I said, my dad was quite strict on me when I was younger. He taught me boxing, but he was hard on me. I got bullied a lot and I was very insecure, I was very shy, so I was actually embarrassed to showcase my talents as much as I was embarrassed to be humiliated and embarrassed. So there was an embarrassment psychologically and emotionally and spiritually of expressing myself. So whether that was verbally, standing up and talking in front of people, or speaking to a girl, or working out on a heavy bag, you know. Obviously there were times when I could do it, but sometimes there would be days where I just felt I couldn't move. And I remember being down another gym, I know it sounds confusing, but just stay with me, down another gym, and a guy coming up to me and saying, oh, you're really good on the bag. I didn't believe it at the time because I didn't take compliments very well. I was very insecure, I didn't trust people very well. He said, you're really powerful, you can move. And then he started hitting the bag. I was like, you're amazing. And he told me that he was an ex-professional, and he was actually he was a presenter for Sky. He's a famous presenter. I'm not going to say his name actually, because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to get credit from him or something. Maybe he wouldn't like me to say his name. But he'd interviewed all the top fighters, Muhammad Ali, no, sorry, I think Muhammad Ali, Tyson, Eubank, Hatton, everyone, Pacquiao. He'd done stories on me. He was a journalist after. And I was 21, he said to me, let me take you down to the gym. And I was like, I wasn't sure about going down the boxing gym, because I was already training in another boxing gym, in All Stars Gym in West London, which was a very famous gym. A lot of champions came out of there, and I was a bit nervous about going down to South London. He wanted to take me down to South London, which was Fitzroy Lodge Boxing Gym. It was a famous gym. David Haye came out of that gym, so I thought, fuck it, I'll go. I was 21 at the time, and he said to me, he took me down, introduced me to trainer. He said, I've got a kid here, Jonathan, and he's really talented, he's really powerful. He wants to train. They said, bring him on board. And I was nervous, man. I was afraid, you know, all my social anxiety, all my issues, but that raw burning desire to box, that was how I expressed myself. And what I liked about boxing was you didn't have to speak much in the gym. So because I was shy, I hated socializing. I was afraid to speak. I preferred that language, you know, pam, 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 pam on the bag. I loved that. I felt comfortable in that rhythm because I could kind of hide in that thing, but it was complex as well. I was shy to show it. But once the bell went and everyone was training, I could kind of hide and get on the bag. And I always noticed every time I'd hit the bag, people would always stop and stare. The trainers would always look. They would just be staring at people because I was powerful and I had good technique, and I loved it. But I was frightened of being successful because my dream was to start with, I wanted to be a British champion. I know that sounds a bit outrageous now because it's nothing to do with what I do, and I'm not a British champion. I'm too old for it now. But at the time, I really believed I could do it. I actually wanted to be a world champion. I was really dedicated. At the time, I would train with my friend. I would get up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I'd go for runs in Hyde Park. I would come back home. I would dry off. When I was living with my grandma, my nan at the time, I would do hundreds of press-ups, sit-ups, weights. I was just fanatical, and that was the time I was into Bruce Lee. And I didn't realise it then. I thought I was afraid of failing, which I was to some extent, but I was frightened of being successful because I knew that success brought on change. I knew that would mean me, in my own mind, I don't know if it's actually true in reality, possibly offending people, losing friends that were, you know, perceived me to be not confident, which I wasn't at the time. And you know, being a boxer, well, you know what that means. You know, you probably get lots of attention from women, other guys respect you. There was all that stuff going on, but I really wanted it because I loved the art, I enjoyed the sport, and I kind of felt like I connect really good with guys because I had a complex fear around other men because obviously I said my father was hard on me, but I loved the sparring. I just found the connection through the punching, and I was kind of scared of it, but I loved it. It was weird. If you're a fighter, you would understand what that's like, or if you're an artist or you perform, it's that love-hate relationship. But I loved it, but I was frightened of being successful, so I found ways to rationalize or design my life around getting better at boxing and getting in a position where I could ascend. And I remember training in Fitzroy Lodge for a while. I remember the trainer at the time, he's not alive anymore, God rest his soul. He was a lovely man, he helped me out a lot. He was named a man called Mick Carney. I remember him saying to me, he came up to me, swore at me at first. He said to me, I was hitting the bag, so I thought I'd impress him. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm just hitting the bag. And he goes, you look like a fucking kangaroo. He goes, do it properly. And I felt really embarrassed, but he was helping me. It was good. He was telling me just you know, practice simplicity, like double jab and cross, because I was doing lots of fancy stuff. And he was correcting me, but he was kind of mentoring me, and I needed that at the time, right? I didn't have much direction then, so it was good in the boxing. So he was helping me towards being successful, and I was frightened to go there. So there got days where my anxiety was so chronic, I didn't turn up to the gym. I would get off at Lambeth North Station, walk down and just feel physically sick. Like, and I'll be honest, sorry to be crude, like I needed to go to the toilet, I had diarrhea, that's how nervous I was, and the fear, the sweat, because I knew that I'd have to spar, and there was fear of doing good in sparring and fear of doing bad. And I was always frightened I was going to go in there and fucking kill someone with my hands. It's just like, you know what I mean, like what Tyson had, because that feeling of being afraid to be bullied, but also being excited to be good, all that stuff going on. So I wouldn't turn up sometimes, and I'd go in the next week, I'd feel so guilty for missing out, I'd apologise, the trainers would be pissed off, because they would think that I was taking the piss, I was being disrespectful, but I wasn't. I was just frightened of getting better. So it got to a stage where I got sick and tired of missing out on boxing all the time, because I was trying to dodge sparring. I remember one day feeling so nervous, right? Boxing started about 7 in the evening. I couldn't eat no food. My nan was saying, "You hungry?" I couldn't get food down. I felt so sick with fear. I was sweating. It was so funny, but at the time it wasn't. I got myself in the gym, and I thought, I remember before sparring, I used to go white. My face would go pale, more whiter than I am now, like Casper. But I'd get in the gym, when the bell would go, I'd get into it, and I'd just feel great, come out and think, oh, I feel so good. Why was I frightened? What was I afraid of? I did really well. And I've mixed in with some really good boxers. I've mixed in with professionals. I've sparred with amateur champions. I've sparred with novices. So I've done a lot of sparring. I only had one amateur fight, unfortunately, and I lost that. That's okay. I'm not bitter about it no more. But so yeah, what happened was in Fitzroy Lodge, they got to a certain season where you could volunteer to box, or the trainers would say, "We want you to box." I remember saying to Mick, "I'm ready, I want to box for the club." And I remember him saying, "Okay, I'm going to put you forward." And I couldn't believe it. I felt so proud of myself that I'd broken through to the amateur team, because that wasn't easy. I proved myself, I'd got down the gym, I'd earned myself respect, and it's not easy to earn the respect of a boxing trainer. And Mick was a very well respected trainer in the boxing world. He was, he was well into his 70s, and I thought, wow, it's a great achievement. A kid from, a poor estate, and I didn't have much going for me in terms of qualifications or a job. I was jobless at the time, and I was really proud. And hours and hours of training, sparring, dedication, eating healthy, no women at the time, so I was really proud of myself. But when it came down to the actual fight, I feel so stupid. I'm still a bit regretting this to this day. I didn't turn up. I was due to box in one of the fancy hotels on Park Lane, and all my other stablemates, they boxed, and I didn't go to it, and I missed out because I was frightened. I remember thinking in my mind, I'm going to win, and I'm going to have journalists wanting to interview me, and I can't deal with that because part of me doesn't feel good enough, so I just stopped going. And that's one of the stories of the fear of success. And that's not excuses, that's me telling the complete truth and having complete understanding, and seeing that through when I teach people. The same principle, the same concept of saying, I'm not happy because I haven't got an attractive girlfriend, and then I'll take a student out, work through whatever we're doing, technique, process, or honesty, congruency, and see them get a number from an attractive girl and hear them say something like, "Oh, I'm not going to text her." And I'm like, why not? You wanted it, "Oh, because oh, I didn't like her that much." And make an excuse. He did like her, he was attracted to her, he told me, he went over and got the number. Or, "Oh, I'm not going to go up to her." Or when they're in the conversation and it's going well, they ejaculate fast, right? Premature ejaculation, a bit of a joke there, but I've done it myself, and I still do it sometimes. So definitely, it's not criticism, it's just, sharing the truth, because they're frightened of success, and some people actually don't understand it. I didn't when I was younger. We don't understand that we are actually frightened of being better. We complain all the time, "If I can hate my job," or "I don't like the way my boss speaks to me," or "Oh, London's shit, the people are shit, the weather's shit, politics is shit," but do nothing about it. And then when excuse me, when you get someone that gives you some support or any direction towards improving, you back out, you get angry. And so this is the pattern I've been seeing. It's something I've been seeing quite a lot this year of myself through all the changes I've been going through. I've been able to be quite strict myself and quite honest, and really identify where I'm frightened of success, and and going towards it and achieving so much. So some of the fears I've overcome: fear of flying, went to Prague. I got frightened of public speaking again, because after I had a breakdown or psychological transformation, I was frightened of public speaking. Went and done a public talk for a dating coach, Simon Spencer, aced it, amazing talk, did fantastic. Not really frightened of public speaking no more. Of course I'll get a bit of substance in my body, but I'm confident. For a while I was a little bit nervous about coming back on YouTube and shooting blogs, because I went through a big change. I wasn't sure if I could do it, am I going to be perceived? Now I'm loving it because I'm more myself than ever. So, frightened of making, at one stage, more money in my business, The usual fears coming up in case people think that you're arrogant or people, you know, all these fears that are nonsense. Done that, making more money, got no problems of making more money, proud of doing it, making an honest living, changing lives. So these are some of the subtle ways it can get us. It can be more complex, and I don't think there's a person on this earth living and breathing that doesn't have some form of the fear of success. They might know it as, oh, I can't be bothered, or if I had this I could get this, or if I had better education, or if my friends weren't negative, or if I didn't do drugs, or if I wasn't brought up in this background, or it's always these excuses. Some of them are relevant because of course your circumstances play a part, but we can always change that, and I think we know that anyway. We know everything, but we don't apply most of it because we're afraid. So I remember another time, another story I'm going to share with you. I'm out excuse me, it's dusty in here. I'm out doing my thing, doing the street stuff, practicing. I can't remember what year, it doesn't even matter what time or day, just this is what comes to me. And it just dawns upon me. I'm like, Johnny, what the fuck are you doing? You're bullshitting yourself. You're not going for the more attractive women because you're frightened of getting them. And then I'd go, what? That can't be true. Why would I be afraid of something that I want? That doesn't make sense logically or intellectually, but when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Because what we want has so much attached to it. It has our insecurities attached to it. It means coming out of our comfort zone. It is a representation, or it is it's a symbol for change. And of course, change and coming out of your comfort zone makes you more afraid. So then I would go and approach them, and I would prove to myself that I can get them. And then I'd go further and say, let me go on a date and see if I'm frightened because I know she's attracted to me. And she would state to my face that she finds me attractive, and lots of fear would come rushing up. Because I'm like, oh my God, shit. She's gonna want to sleep with me and want to take things further. She might want to date me. She want to meet my friends, and she's gonna see areas of me that I don't want her to see. I don't want anyone to see. I don't want to look at myself. So it's really interesting and it's exciting. I said to Sanjeet today, because we were both discussing it, what does it mean? Why do we have this? And I was explaining to him why he has his one, why I've got mine, how we can work on it. And it was for many reasons, and I'm sure there's other unconscious reasons that we don't understand that are more complex. Maybe a qualified psychologist could break it down better than me, but I've got a good understanding of why, because it brings on change. Of course, it will mean that we'll be treated different, and there's no doubt about that. I definitely have experienced that from making the changes in my life and being more successful. You just can't deny it. I get treated differently. People are more respectful, more nicer, and that's a good thing. I'm happy with that. I'm not complaining. That's amazing, and that's because I've changed my identity, the way I project myself, and get it back. Even if I meet new people, people seem different to me. People seem more friendly. I see more of the good in people. So if you're struggling with day game, which is likely you are, that's why you're watching my video, really ask yourself, do you really want to get the results? Because you're probably going to find that you don't actually really want to get the results. Because if you did, you wouldn't spend fucking loads of hours watching my videos. You wouldn't be a tight git. You would eventually just take a boot camp, stop fucking complaining about it, and sending me an email saying maybe I should, maybe. Of course it's worth it. Of course spending a few £100s is going to be worth changing your life. And if you had any doubts that I couldn't help you, or what I was teaching wasn't truthful or honest, it didn't work, you wouldn't watch my videos, you wouldn't like my stuff. So I'm just referencing me as a way of an example that how we fucking bullshit ourselves. And as I get angry and passionate now, and I tell you, of course I tell myself, because I'm motivating myself as I'm teaching and learning from everyone else to do more in my life and to stop being such a chicken shit, because it really pisses me off when I see people underachieving and complaining about it. And I wrote a quote on my Facebook, and I think it went something like, I can't remember the exact name, but something along the lines that, yeah, there's nothing worse than wasted talent. Wasted talent is worse than rejection. Because when we don't use our talents, we're wasting our time, wasting our fucking life, man. And we only have a certain amount of time on this earth. And all the bullshit, the excuses, the blame, it's just, what's the point? We might as well make the most of it and help each other and have a better experience, alright? That sounds fair, doesn't it? So fear of success is, and even though I'm kind of saying this with passion, I'm a bit pissed off because I'm excited as well. It is exciting. It is exciting because we can change it, and just knowing this, and I'm just excited to share it with you because I wish I had someone when I was younger to tell me and just to say to me, do you know that you are capable? Do you know that you can do it? Do you know that you're the only one that's stopping you? That you're frightened of being great or recognizing that you are great. And when we say these big words, we can feel like, oh, I don't deserve to say it. We do deserve to say it. I am great. I am beautiful. I am very talented. I am very congruent. That's why I've done the things I've done so far, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I've got a right to be doing this, and I've got a right to date attractive women. I've got a right to make a lot of money. I've got a right to meet new people. I've got a right to socialise from people from all different backgrounds. I've got a right to travel the world. I've got a right to go onto YouTube and to teach people and to put stuff out that's honest, even if people don't like it and they criticise it. In the dating world, if they say what I'm saying is too truthful, it's too close to the bone, I've got a right to say it. I've got a right to make mistakes. I've got a right to be afraid. I've got a right to feel insecure. I've got a right to feel secure. I've got a right to teach. So I've got a right to do all that. And you've got the same. Of course you've got the same. You already know that. I'm telling you everything you already know. What's the point watching this video? Waste of fucking time. But you need to hear it so you can go and do it. So this is what I wanted to share. And it's never ending. People will say, when does it end? It's going to continue probably to the day we finish our time on this earth. So fear of success is what keeps lots of people small. And the fear of success is all, if you look at it and you face it, it will grow you. And I'm going to go even further, right? Because I want to be more vulnerable and share more, right? And some of the stuff that, the way that we do things to cover it up. Now, I'm sorry fellas, I had to edit it, the video ran out because the camera only has a certain amount of time. So yeah, continuing on what I was saying regarding with the fear of success, we all do it to ourselves, we all play tricks. And most of the time we do it through distraction. Sometimes we even do it through positive influences, positive distraction. So for example, watching YouTube videos, which I think is fantastic because that inspires you, and obviously that inspires you to go and get success. But contradictory, if that is a word, I hope so, that can sometimes take us away from being successful because we're frightened of being successful. So by watching videos or going to seminars, it's our own kind of sneaky way of saying, oh, because I watched a video or I've been to a seminar, I made some attempt to do some work. When in fact, if you're being honest, you're bullshitting yourself. It's your way of getting out of doing the actual work that you really need to do. So I think, along with, this could probably be another video, but I'll keep going anyway. Along with the fear of success, we need to find ways to prioritize the steps we need to take to become successful, and how we need to prevent ourselves from preventing ourselves to getting success and not finding excuses. And the obvious ones are always, I'm too tired, which I bloody am tired, but I'm doing the video anyway because I'm not avoiding success. I'm going right towards it. I'm not afraid of it, or I am afraid of it, but I'm not afraid to be afraid of it. So I'm too tired, fuck all that. Or people around me are negative, drop them, get rid of them like a bad habit, like Apollo Creed said. Or it isn't the right time. It's never the fucking right time. When is it ever the right time to start becoming successful? The only time to start is now. It's never the right time. When I'm 20, I'm going to do it. You know you don't. When I'm 30, I'm going to do it. Stop bullshitting when I'm 35 and I've got a six-pack. When I'm this much stronger. When I've got this much money. There's no better time to start working towards becoming successful. There's always room for failure, because whilst you're not being successful, technically, if you're being really honest, you're failing every day of every minute, because you're living a life that you're not happy with. So at least when you're going towards success, you're facing your fears, you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling confused, you're feeling afraid, you're feeling insecure, you're getting days where you're feeling great, you're attaining success, you're getting close to it, or you're getting your smaller goals, which are giving you more courage to get your bigger goals, you're feeling better. And I think for most of the time, this is what I've learned from teaching over the 4 years and doing it myself, we feel better just for attempting to go towards success. Even failing at reaching success makes us feel better, because in a sense that is being successful. Like a guy, for example, saying, I'm too afraid to go and speak to attractive women in case I get rejected, so I'm not going to do it. That's a failure, right? In my eyes, I call that failing, all right? That's you're not doing anything. If he does go and speak to them and says, well, I spoke to 5 attractive women, but they all turned me down, I feel a bit like shit, I feel like I'm rejected, but I feel good because I did it. I took action, I did it. That's a successful man in my opinion. That's the template or the framework or the type of character that's transformed my life and enabled me to transform guys' lives every week on programs and through the videos, because there's a fucking serious message in it. So that's what I wanted to get off my chest, and I feel good for saying it. And lastly, this is me talking to myself. It's a message to me, because it's nice to do this. It will help you anyway, because stuff like kind of success barriers have been coming up for me a little bit lately, because I've been being more successful, and then I don't know, it's bringing up kind of stupid excuses. So I'm going to say it now, right? And when I say it on camera, I've got to do it. I blackmail myself. Yes, you are going to be more successful. Yes, I am going to do more seminar talks, bigger ones. I am going to travel more. I'm going to be showing the proof on YouTube, so if I don't do it, I'm not like a fucking idiot, and I will do it. And yes, I am going to take bigger risks, because I want to put out bigger projects to inspire and change lives of more people all around the world. So I'm going to keep doing it. And yes, it is okay for me to fail. It is okay for me to sometimes to feel embarrassment, or maybe the occasional shame, which is from the past, which doesn't exist no more. And I'm also allowed to, yeah, I'm allowed to take breaks. I'm allowed to go through everything. Everything's right. It's all going to work out in the end, all right? So that's my message. And just ask yourself, just be bluntly honest and look in the mirror and just say, am I frightened of being successful? If you're asking the question now, let me ask you a question quickly before I go. Are you happy with your job? Simple question, yes or no. Are you dating the type of woman you want to date? Or are you attempting to go out and to do day game and practice speaking to women, yes or no? Are you around people that are inspiring you, or are they draining you, are they drawing blood out of you? Or are you doing it to other people? Are you around negative people or positive people? Last question I'm going to ask you, and it's quite a hard one to ask, but this is going to really fucking grow you, and it really grew me. It's difficult, right? And I'm not being nasty, because I genuinely want to help you, and it's a question I asked myself many times. And it's yes or no. No bullshit, no I'm not sure, or an essay. Do you like who you are, yes or no? If the answer is yes, fantastic. Don't watch my videos, or still watch them anyway for entertainment reasons or learning more stuff. If the answer is no, don't feel bad about saying no. I didn't like who I was 10 years ago. I couldn't stand who I was. I didn't like the sight of myself. I felt ashamed. I didn't feel good enough. But that eventually drove me forward to taking action, doing loads of personal introspection or inquiry, which meant in the form of sleeping with attractive women, and then realizing that is not what it's about. Working on my insecurities, becoming more secure, being more honest in my relationships with people and myself, and just fucking transforming and liking who I am. And you can do the same. Everyone can. Same shit, alright? So thanks for listening. Yeah, why not? Like and subscribe. Enjoy the process of going towards your success. Enjoy the process, actually, of not having the fear of success and all that other stuff, right? And if you want to see videos for entertainment value and for learning, have a look on the members area. Lots of videos from Prague, amazing infield day game pickups for the guys that like the advanced stuff and just purely into the pickup stuff. It's got loads of stuff there, and lots of other stuff on personal development. That's my message. That's what I wanted to say. It's coming at you from the bedroom. It's coming at you truthfully. And what I've just said to you, I'm taking on board myself. So I'm in this with you guys. We're in this together. Just because I'm teaching doesn't mean I'm not doing it myself. And the last thing I'm going to say, because it's come to me, that's what makes me a good teacher, because I'm doing what I'm teaching. I'm living what I'm teaching. So we're in it together, alright? I'll speak to you guys soon. It's a pleasure, alright? Take care. Bye.